Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking to you guys about minerals and supplementation. What's involved? Why do you even need to do it? Is there any evidence behind it? Thank you for watching. So, in terms of supplementation, there's so much out there in terms of what you should do and why you should do it. Because it's such a massive topic, I'm going to really break it down and talk about specific things for each video. So today I'm going to be talking about nutrients and minerals. So basically you're like, what is that? So think about macro minerals, things like sodium, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus. These are things that basically make up our body, and we need a lot of it to survive as humans. So usually more than 100 milligrams a day in order for us to even consider thriving. So that's kind of the bigger ones, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because we really get that from anything. You know, sodium, potassium, these are found everywhere in anything that we eat, and it's very hard to become completely deficient in that in a healthy individual who's having, meals a day and doesn't have any malnutrition. And then there's of course things that are not macronutrients, and we consider these trace elements. Trace elements are things you need less than 100 milligrams a day, and then you can even go ultra trace where it's like this much, and that's less than 1 milligram a day. Now usually these would include things like fluoride, iodine, selenium, chromium, did I say chromium? I think I just said that. But those are the, zinc is another one. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. When do you really need to think about, am I missing one of these trace elements? Is this something I should be improving in my diet and supplementing? So let's start talking about that. One of the most common deficiencies is iron. So iron deficiency is very common, one of the more common ones in the westernized societies, and it really leads to most commonly iron deficiency anemia, we call it. What does that mean? Basically, it's when your blood levels are super low. And what does that cause? Really fatigue. So for example, your blood pumps around your body to get you moving, to get you doing your daily activities. So for somebody who has very low hemoglobin or blood levels, they might have actually iron deficiency. So this is something you want to be thinking about if you're finding you're really fatigued all the time. People are saying you look really pale under your eyes, or your skin looks very pale. You're finding you can't exercise as much, you're very short of breath, you're very tired. These are kind of associated with iron deficiency. Iron is found in many meats, poultry, fish, even sometimes in iron fortified foods that are actually you can buy. But if you are deficient, which is really quite common, these are the kinds of things you want to get checked with your family doctor or your healthcare provider, because you might need supplementation and get those energy levels up and make sure that you have normal blood levels in your blood. Okay, so copper is found in lots of different things like meat, fish, especially liver. I personally love the taste of liver. I know it's kind of gross, but it tastes amazing, and it's a great source of copper. Copper deficiency is not actually a super common one because you can find it in so many things, but if you are someone who has any issues with absorption in your gut, this could happen to you. And usually this is something you should think about if you're finding that your hair is breaking super easily, your skin is not as colored, we say depigmenting, so their color is not there as much. If you're starting to find that your muscles are super weak, where you're really kind of confused or walking like clumsily, not sure if clumsily is a word, but that's the kind of things you think about when you think of someone who has copper deficiency. So with copper supplementation though, if you needed to go above and beyond eating it in a diet, it definitely should be done under the care of a healthcare provider because, the guidance of one, because it's very toxic if you have too much. It can lead to really significant cardiac heart disease. It can really lead to kidney issues. So you don't want to be supplementing that on your own. But if you're having those types of findings, you might think to yourself, do I need more copper in my life? As an immunologist, I'm always looking for ways to boost up that immune system. And also as an allergist, one of the common conditions I deal with is eczema or having super dry skin or problems with wound healing. Now, zinc is another one that I wanted to chat about in terms of an element because it is super important for you. Now, if you're somebody who is finding that you have delayed wound healing, or you're constantly getting sick with respiratory illnesses, or you have diarrhea, zinc might be a good fit for you. Now, zinc is actually something you can take orally by mouth in pill form. And what we find is it's actually quite hard for your body to have too much zinc in terms of toxicity levels. So if you are somebody who thinks that they're getting sick all the time and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe I should take some zinc, you could go ahead and do that. And in terms of thinking, oh my God, am I having too much zinc? Usually patients will present with abdominal pain or diarrhea if you're having too much zinc. But I think just having one over-the-counter one, if you're somebody who may be zinc deficient, might be a good fit. In terms of the immune system, another one is selenium, spelled like this. And selenium, actually, if you have a deficiency in this, you also can have problems with your immune system. You don't fight off infections as well. However, in terms of supplementing selenium, you'll be super careful because selenium can be bad for you if it's too toxic in terms of the levels. So in that way, you should definitely be doing it under the guidance of your doctor. But if you're finding that your immune system is kind of blah, maybe you could just try to eat more seafood because selenium is in seafood and that's a natural way to do it rather than taking it orally. Lastly, I want to debunk one that I've been reading a lot about and people have been taking. So chromium is another trace element. So chromium is found in like many different things. It's important for metabolic reactions that occur in your body. You can find them in like grains and vegetables as well. And some of the processed meats have it. There's a lot of people out there that are stating that chromium can help with making you have a more lean body as well as having weight loss. And honestly, I looked at the systematic reviews, which is the evidence behind there, and there is no evidence showing that. So I don't think this is something that you need to supplement. Really, patients who have this type of deficiency, they have to be like in a severe burn, or they have like half of their bowels aren't working, for example, like they have something we call short bowel syndrome. So it's not a common deficiency, and supplementation isn't shown to support weight loss or having lean muscles. So don't fall for that trick and trap, okay guys? I hope that was super useful. I was able to go through some of those micronutrients that people take as supplementation and which one you might want to be on based on your symptoms if you have any. I really want to talk about vitamins as well in one of my videos because I think that's another huge gap of knowledge as to what vitamins people have to be on and why. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, below, and I'm happy to answer those. Bye.